Hola, timid investors. Well, every election, some Americans threaten to leave the country if their candidate doesn't win.
In 1995, 12% of Americans said they would leave the U.S. permanently if they could. 11% responded in this way during the Bush administration and 10% during the Obama administration. But Gallup found that during the start of the Trump administration in 2017 and 2018, a record 16% of Americans said they would like to permanently move to another country if they could. According to a poll conducted by Monmouth University in March of 2024, a whopping 34% of U.S. citizens expressed their interest to settle abroad if given a chance.
And many actually do.
Since 2013, the number of people giving up U.S. citizenship has risen to a new record each year, with an unprecedented 5,411 in 2016, which was up 26% from the 4,279 renunciations in 2015 to more than 6,000 in 2020.
I left the U.S. and emigrated to Spain 2 weeks after the 2020 presidential election. In this video, I will provide a list of countries that share the Democratic Party's values and provide a brief overview of different visa pathways and cities to live in. This is not a step-by-step tutorial. This is not a comprehensive guide. I cannot answer immigration questions. Please refer to consulate websites and immigration consultants and lawyers. Resources will be linked in the pop-ups and description below. This is just to get you started. If I have time, I'll publish a similar video on where to go if Harris wins. Although I don't think I'll be able to get it out in time, and I don't really think that's going to be an issue.
If you're new here, this is Tara from the channel She Saves, He Invests, They Travel, bringing travel tips and finance stories ordinary people can relate to. In no particular order, here are the countries. I am including this country on the list because it is the country most people cite, or at least joke about, when they threaten to leave the US. It's also an easier country for United Statesians to move to because it's close. English is spoken in most places. There are many Americans already living in Canada. The exchange rate and culture is similar enough. The US and Canada have a good relationship, and Canada has a strong welfare system, including universal health care. Currently, its government is progressive, and it also has beautiful nature. US Americans can stay in Canada visa-free for up to 180 days in a 12-month period. You can also extend this initial stay if you apply with the correct documents and meet the minimum financial requirements. You can apply for a study permit if you are admitted into a Canadian program of study. There is a startup visa for entrepreneurs. You can relocate through the express entry system. If you're lucky enough to have close relatives in Canada, like a child or parent, they can sponsor you. Or you can look for a work permit under the Federal Skilled Worker Program if your work falls into one of the professional categories of the US-Mexico-Canada agreement, such as accounting, healthcare, or technology. Cities you might want to consider include Ottawa, Vancouver, Halifax, and I don't know if you would actually want to live there.
But Cape Breton declared itself a Trump-free zone in 2016. So there's that. Also check out Winnipeg and Edmonton.
Our next country is Mexico. Of course, if we're gonna include our neighbor to the north, we've gotta include our neighbor to the south. And this is the country currently with the highest number of U.S.onians, U.S. Americans.
I don't know if that term will stick, but I'm trying to make it go viral. What do you think? No? Yes?
Anyways, an estimated 1.6 million U.S. citizens live in Mexico. It's close to the U.S. geographically and has friendly relations with the U.S. It's also pretty easy for United Statesians to immigrate to, and it's relatively inexpensive and has a progressive female president right now. U.S.onians can stay in Mexico for up to 180 days without a visa, using just their passports. However, if you want to live there, you should apply for a work permit, permanent residency, or temporary residency visa. If you follow the economic solvency route, there are two pathways: temporary residency and permanent residency. Temporary residency is from 180 days to 4 years. You can gain residency through ties to a Mexican national, investor residency visas, student residency visas, or an employment visa. There is also a regularization program that you can apply for that grants you residency without financial solvency requirements. Another straightforward way to move to Mexico is through its retirement program. To apply for permanent residency in Mexico, you must prove you have at least a certain amount of money in investments or in your bank account during the previous 12 months, or a minimum in monthly income from your pension after taxes. Please refer to the Mexican consulate's website for the exact numbers, as they are subject to change. Some good options for places to live include Mexico City, San Miguel de Allende, and Guanajuato. Moving further down the North American continent, we have Costa Rica. I had trouble deciding between Costa Rica and Panama, so if I end up doing an extended version of this video, depending on the election results, I will include Panama in that video. Costa Rica is close to the U.S. at only a 3-hour plane ride from Florida. It is committed to sustainable environmental practices and conservation. It offers high-quality medical care. About 120,000 U.S. Americans already live there. Many places in Costa Rica accept U.S. dollars, and the immigration process is pretty straightforward. Links in the description. There's a tourist visa that allows you to stay for 180 days per 12 months, but it renews as soon as you leave the country and come back in. So you could just be a perpetual tourist. There are many different types of visas, including, but not limited to, the pensionada visa for retirees, the rentista visa based on income, the inversionista visa for investors, and the digital nomad visa for remote workers. The best places to live in Costa Rica include Atenas, Escazú, Santa Ana, Ciudad Colón, Jaco Hermosa, Esterillos and Bejuco, Quepos and Manuel Antonio, Dominical, San Isidro del General, Malpaís and Santa Teresa, Nosara, Tamarindo, Playa Grande, and Langosta. Moving over to Europe, our fourth country is Portugal. Portugal has liberal immigration policies, affordable health care, offers a high quality of life, and although costs are rising, it is still the least expensive Western European country to live in. Depending on where you live in Portugal, it can cost between $1,300 to $1,900 per month per person. Approximately 10 to 15,000 US Americans already live in Portugal. The most common type of visa U.S.ians use to move to Portugal is the D7. This visa can be used by retirees and digital nomads. Portugal also offers citizenship by descent. Popular places to live in Portugal include Porto, the capital, Lisbon, and towns in the Algarve and Silver Coast regions. The following countries will be featured in the extended version of this video or subsequent follow-up videos: Belize, El Salvador, Panama, Colombia, Chile, France, and New Zealand.